It's fantastic to be here, and I appreciate being here in person. We're going to hear from some great entrepreneurs today and hear about some great companies. And we're all very, very fortunate to have Kia and the entire Gravitas team who have been great partners in supporting these entrepreneurial stories that you're going to hear today. I want to set the stage a little bit today and talk a little bit about the renaissance of entrepreneurship that we're seeing in Canada right now, the wave that we're seeing of small business growth, of entrepreneurship in the businesses that you're going to hear from today. 2 million Canadians started businesses last year. That's a record in Canada, and we're seeing similar numbers in the US. There's a record number of businesses being started. But it really begs the question, where do these entrepreneurs come from? In my story and in many stories, it comes from immigration. My great-grandfather came here in 1899 from Ukraine. That's him there. Settled a farm outside Edmonton in the middle of nowhere, lived in a mud hut, cleared the land, and realized, hey, there's other immigrants here too. Started a general store, became one of the first post offices in Western Canada. My grandmother, sitting on his lap, and there in the far right, she started a business too, years later, a catering company that I grew up in, my dad and my aunt worked in, and many businesses come from immigration. Canada's expecting to welcome 1.3 new immigrants to our country. We're seeing a wave of immigration policy, and we know that immigration policy is going to be driving the overall economic policy, particularly when it comes to the overall debt and GDP. So we know that there's going to be, last year, tons of small businesses started. We also know there's going to be more small businesses started. And looking over the next 10 years, how is immigration going to drive entrepreneurship in our country? But not everyone that starts a business from being an immigrant. In my case, this isn't stock photography. I was sitting there at an insurance company that I used to work for, and I was looking at this wall, this exact wall that's a real wall that still is selling insurance this way. Paper forms and paper everything. And so when we started our business, we said, you know what, there's a better way. And you're going to hear from some great companies today that are talking about there being a better way. Pineapple, a better way to do mortgages. Emerge, a better way for e-commerce to exist in our country. And so we said, you know what, let's quit our jobs and let's go start a business. Let's find partners like Gravitas to support us in that mission. But really, for Apollo to build an online insurance company, it took us sitting there that one day looking at this exact wall saying there's a better way. But we're not alone in this. Last year, 33 million people across North America quit their jobs. They're calling this the Great Resignation because people are saying, you know what, there's a great reset here. So we have an opportunity to be able to embrace entrepreneurship. And this is driving this renaissance. So we have two factors. We have immigration, and we have the Great Resignation merging together with this renaissance of entrepreneurship and driving new business starts and new business growth, driving opportunity for investors to be able to support these businesses as they grow. But it sucks starting a small business. It's hard. I mean, you go to the bank and you got to fill out your name 15 times, and they already know your name when you booked the appointment. And then you have to go find someone to be your accountant and find someone to be your lawyer. And then if you want to be a baker, you got to figure out a lease and all these other things. And all you want to do is bake bread. But it's hard. And you have this fragmented ecosystem of all these different service providers and all these different companies that makes it very, very challenging for small businesses to start, whether it's a new immigrant, whether it's someone who quits their job, and it loses focus from the core fact of what they're trying to build and what we're trying to develop as entrepreneurs. And so you have some platforms that are recognizing, hey, there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity to support these small businesses and be able to, like Shopify with over 1 million small businesses that are powered off their platform, to run these businesses from a platform perspective. You have new businesses like Float, who's doing small business credit cards, and financial services company like Apollo trying to support these entrepreneurs. And then you have small business services. Owner has taken the paper-based incorporation process and made it digital. And Fiverr, maybe you need some blog posts. There's marketplaces to support entrepreneurs, to support other entrepreneurs. But it's still pretty fragmented. You still have to figure out which one of these platforms do I want to choose, where do I want to go. So I have a vision, and I want to share that vision with you today. I have a vision that you should be able to press a button and turn your small business on. You should be able to have your cell phone that already knows everything about you. It already knows your name. It already knows all these data points about your business or about your objectives. And it should be able to integrate all that data into one flawless ecosystem. The entrepreneur of tomorrow should be able to have all of these services and support mechanisms tied together. And as we see this massive wave of entrepreneurship, there will be the bundling of these services so that you're not having to fill out paperwork 100 different times, and so that you can build your business that much faster, that much more effectively, and be able to scale those businesses and scale your objectives in the market. And so we're starting to see this ecosystem form where these companies will begin to integrate, and you're already seeing some of this happening with API integrations, with support mechanism, where you say, on day one, I need an email address, I'm going to choose G Suite. And then I need to incorporate my business, I'll go to Owner. But why aren't those two connected? Why can't we then roll that right into your website through Wix? I'm going to choose PayPal as my payment processor. I need a small business credit card with Float. I need accounting software. But why can't we integrate these? Why can't our accounting software then tell Apollo, here's the revenue for this business, here's their operations, here's what they do, so that Apollo, as an insurance business, doesn't have to ask you any questions. So that by the time you get to your lawyer, they can pull up your file and you can access all that information about a business, all that information that instead of wasting your time with paperwork and the back and forth and the challenges of the ecosystem to be an entrepreneur, to be a small business, why can't we integrate all these data points? Why can't we support entrepreneurs better? So we're seeing this new way for entrepreneurship and this new ecosystem approach where you're not going to have these disparate companies that are fragmented. We're truly going to have one central point and central ecosystems by industry to be able to support entrepreneurship, to be able to make it easier for this wave and this renaissance of entrepreneurship that we're seeing in Canada. So if I can leave you with a takeaway. Number one, bet on small businesses, bet on entrepreneurship. As Kia said with Gravitas, they've been amazing supporters of the businesses you're going to hear from today, including Apollo, to be able to support and develop and grow entrepreneurs and help scale businesses. Bet on entrepreneurship, bet on small businesses. But also, I'll leave you with the basic nugget to be able to bet on businesses that are helping these other businesses. Bet on businesses that are building the ecosystem of entrepreneurship so that the next company that comes along that needs insurance and needs small business banking and small business credit cards and all the services that we need as a business, bet on the companies that are the picks and shovels in this gold rush. And so that's what Apollo is doing. Apollo is making small business insurance effortless. We're making it effortless by integrating ourselves into other ecosystems, by pulling data and partnering with other companies to ultimately serve that end entrepreneur, to make it easier and more effortless to be an entrepreneur and to support those small businesses as we see this renaissance of entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a fantastic day hearing from all the other companies.